Good morning and good night. Thanks again for downloading the Body Snatchers podcast. If you like what you hear today, don't forget to subscribe and comment. So let's get started. Enjoy the show.
All right, guys. Good morning, good night. Thank you for choosing the Body Snatchers podcast. Tino here, hanging out with Kellz and a stupid hat. Okay, I kind of like the hat. Kind of reminds me of Cheshire Cat. This is our second live Twitch podcast, so hopefully everything is coming through okay. We have, a ton of stuff on audio podcasts, but here we are. Look, Mom, I'm on TV. Do I make you proud? Kellz, cut it out.
I'm frozen, man. What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you died from low views on your Twitch profile.
Yeah, that too. It's inside. It's always in my heart.
I feel like I hurt you with that one, and I want to apologize.
I'm going to get a tattoo of it on my forehead.
Chill, dude. Chill. Oh, we got somebody in here. Veteran Gaming Militia? Or is that somebody you know, Kellz?
That's me.
Oh, okay. That's awkward. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about the PlayStation 5. Sony finally had something going. I know that it was postponed. It was originally supposed to be almost a month before, and blah, 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 COVID, riots, a bunch of other stuff happened. But
Murder hornets.
Yeah, the world decided to end right before the PS5 comes out, and all I could think is please don't do this. Please don't do this. I mean, you gave me Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I guess I could die happy, but let me at least pre-order the PS5 before you end, so I can feel on my deathbed it was mine, it was gonna be mine.
Be sleeping with it too.
Yeah, and I guess it's probably silly to get excited about console games, seeing as I'm kind of mostly a PC gamer, and I think you are as well, but there's just something fun, I think, about the console games, the exclusives, and kind of just the competition, these days it's the memes and the excitement. It's more than just nostalgia or whatever. That's what I think anyways. What do you think, Kellz?
Yeah, I mean, especially for the exclusives and everything, just thinking about what can possibly come out with the new system. What are the graphics going to be like and everything. It's I wonder what's out there. And
we will certainly have a few conversations about that. That's a thing. Now, before we dive into the meat and potatoes of the show and wherever this discussion goes today, we're a little bit late, and that's 100% Steven's fault. 110%. If you listen to the show and you know Steven, I gave him some responsibility, the tiniest amount, and he dropped the ball like he always does. So basically, we've been doing, if you're a patron, member of our podcast, which if you go to bodysnatchersmedia.com, that's where all the audio podcast stuff is, you can sign up, you can support the show for $1, $3, $5, or more. It's kind of up to you. There's different tiers, so feel free to check that out. But for anybody who's involved, we have monthly contests where we just have little prizes and fun stuff like that. And we also have quarterly contests that are much larger prizes. So, we've got some pretty cool stuff planned for this fall as long as everything kind of goes according to plan. Nothing to say, Kellz? You got no facial expressions even? You just get a serious text message? At least be excited. If you're not excited, then the Patreon members aren't going to be excited, and that's just the truth of the matter.
Free stuff. Why not do it? Just $1 can help out.
It's $1.
Possibly a PC in the future. You never know.
It helps us.
Or a whole house.
But 85, I'd say as high as 95 at this point in time. Technically more if you count the amount of money that we put into just, promoting and stuff like that. Goes right back into the people who participate, So we've made a way to where it's just easier for us to bring prizes and stuff back to you guys who hang out, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, how about a Cybertruck?
This guy. Do you have an air conditioner running? Is your computer running hot? I think it's time for a new computer.
No, that's my AC. Is it real loud? Because I can turn it off.
All right, so I'm picking a name. It's random. It's randomly generated. Okay, so Wesley Sharps, and I'm going to write that down so he doesn't win again for a little for a little bit. I've actually met him. He just recently started his own Facebook show, talking about anime and stuff. It's really just a couple cool ass urban dudes sitting down, and I like it because it's just very straightforward. Like it's anime like balls deep. Like it's just good. Like it's just huge fans of whatever they're discussing. For at least from the couple of shows that I popped in and saw. So Wesley, if you're out there listening, if you're watching, you won. Awesome. I'm gonna be in contact with you. It is. I think the prize was like a $25 Amazon gift card this month. Nothing, Kellz?
I think so. Last I heard.
Yeah,
I remember correctly.
I believe.
So
I'm gonna check with the squad and verify that, but I'm pretty sure it was a $25 Amazon gift card. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that comes to you within the next day or two. Thank you for being a patron member. Thank you for all the support that you've given us, and also nothing but the best for your show as you're getting it off the ground. I'd like to think that maybe we helped give you that idea, but if not, keep doing your thing, man. I'll keep popping in on weekends when I see it live and supporting you, and hope to hear from you soon. And for anybody else who wants to jump into these patron things for $1, I mean, why not? You have a better chance of winning this in the lottery, honestly.
yeah, like I said, a Cybertruck, you might win like a Halo suit. You might win a clown suit or a clown car or some clown shoes. You never know what's going to be out there. It's just
We're not going to give away clown shoes.
Why? It's like
because Steven needs his shoes so he can get to work and support his family.
You're right.
That is a fact. Okay, so enough of that talk. Let's kind of get in here and let's see how we're looking on our time so we can keep track of stuff. Okay, so we're about 6 minutes in. Cool. So we got time. All right, man. So this is like a tough one. I'm not even entirely sure like where to begin. As far as the PS5 is concerned, I mean, next gen. Like, let's talk about like next gen systems. Like, being a computer head, when it comes to like the graphics cards that are out right now, I'm not really impressed. Like, and judge me if you want to. I'm running a 1070. I'm still running the 1070 because what I've seen out of the 2K series, for those who understand GPUs, like I'm just not impressed. Like, even the 2080 Ti, for all it's worth, is like, when it comes to gimmicky things like ray tracing, which is what it is, like it's beautiful, but like I feel like it hit the market too early. What's your opinion on that, Kellz?
It definitely did, and it's first gen, so of course it's not going to be the top of everything because everything's still being worked with. But this is something new, so it's like, all right, let's bring it out. People fell for it. And it's like, all right, the second gen is going to be way better with more frames per second. It's like, I'm glad I didn't buy that. Well, but it is dope to see it like doing something different. I didn't even know something like this existed.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay. So, a lot of people, who don't know a lot about the way all this stuff works, and again, your opinion might differ from mine, and that's totally fine. But a lot of people get hung up on this idea that like 4K, does it do 4K, does it do 8K? And it's like, bro, okay, chill for a second. You have no idea how solid your gaming and picture quality will be when, forget 4K for a second, like look at 1080. Look at 1080 and look at increasing the frames. And a lot of these, second gen video cards can do that really well. I mean, you can play at 100, 144 frames and like annihilate your game. It would just look next level. And they can do that. They totally deliver that. That's what they're supposed to do. Awesome. But when you start looking at ray tracing, performance it's not there. So like you see, and I'm sure anybody who knows anything about ray tracing, the most beautiful thing that's out there right now is probably the Minecraft beta. Have you checked that out at all, Kellz, just to look for fun, just to see the differences? Like,
I seen it. I was actually quite impressed. Like, it doesn't look so boxy. Wait a minute, time out.
it still looks boxy, but there's literally like millions of lines, and algorithms that are just bouncing all over the place, and there's just all these things that you can see, and it's not a perfect system yet. But that's just one example. Or there's, I think it was Tomb Raider I was looking at, and you could see like reflections. There was an FPS game that I saw where, with ray tracing on, there was somebody, like there was like a glass door in front of him, like a partially open glass door, if that makes sense. And he's like creeping forward with the gun, like up to the doorway, and he looks in the glass, and in the glass you can see the reflection of an enemy that was over to the left, like next to the wall, that you would have never been able to see. And you never think about these things because you're not really used to having that sort of light reflection in video games. It's awesome. But
yeah, there might have been Battlefield 5, possibly.
It actually probably was. I think it was. Yeah. Which is fine. But like my issue with that a lot of people aren't aware of is it more than half is going to cut your FPS. Like some of and I think I have a couple of notes here just for just to throw an example. So like the 2060 video card that's out at 1440 for ray tracing can't do beyond like 40 frames. Like that's it.
Yikes. That's
The 1080 Ti, which is a card that was, what is it, 11 gigs of DDR5, I think it is. That card used you're pretty much not going to find it for less than like $850. It's an amazing card. It struggles to hit 30 frames per second with ray tracing after the update. Granted, that series of cards doesn't have the hardware built into it. It was like a software update, but still, like, it's pretty bad.
pathetic.
Yeah. And then, of course, the 1080, which I don't even know I brought it up, but I wrote it down. That one can't even maintain 25 frames. So it's not super fantastic. Like when you start thinking about your actual gameplay and moving around, like, for Minecraft, for demos, when you're looking at this stuff, like, it looks great. But right now, it's not so great. And the reason that I'm putting so much emphasis on ray tracing the video cards and stuff is because I'm a little bit skeptical of what the next gen systems are going to bring to the table, because we haven't really seen a whole lot of honest gameplay when it comes with from Microsoft or Sony at this point in time. I'm optimistic because the consoles usually maintain between 30 and 60 frames, right?
Yeah, most cases.
So
Nowadays, no.
yeah, so like on the console, we may not see too much of a problem, in comparison to like PC. So maybe it could work. Sony has said that like that GPU was basically made with AMD, and AMD later this year is going to be launching their first like ray tracing card. What did they call it? It had like a code name, like Big something.
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about? You got Google right in front of you, man. Do it so we can know.
Do it. AMD card.
You're such a good typer. It's big something, gotta be.
Give me something.
Are you serious right now? Do I gotta look it up?
No, it keeps on bringing up YouTube.
Big Navi.
Navi?
Yeah, that's all. I didn't want you to like pull it up. I just wanted you to say it. There's like nothing on it. I've looked 100 million times. Speculation. There's things that AMD has said, but whatever. A lot of people are excited about it because this is going to give Nvidia a huge run for their money. And I'm curious to see if because they wouldn't release this thing, like have their, tech inside of the PS5 and not feel strongly enough about it to push it out. I feel like if it's set to come out later this year, this fall for 2020, then it should be like at an entry level, like the entry-level ray tracing specs for what we expect to see for these GPUs coming out on PC. In order for it to compete, it wouldn't make any sense to have it come out of the box like only competing with like the 2K series or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that? Am I crazy? Not crazy?
No, you're not crazy. Because it wouldn't make sense for them to be like, all right, we're gonna put the old GPUs in there, and then no, I won't put it past them because. Consoles, they're famous for doing this. We're gonna release a first gen console, all right, maybe 6-8 months later, all right, we get the new generation console. Now it has all those other extra perks and specs to it. Now it's like what? I just went harder the first gen again and I gotta upgrade. Like,
well,
you don't have to, but
well, they always do, but like the way I always do it is like I'll buy what comes out like day one. I'll get it. And there's going to be a whole bunch of people who don't want to buy it day one for whatever the reasons may be. Maybe they don't have enough money. Maybe they're skeptical about, what's getting launched, whatever. But if there's one thing I know about that same group of people is when they come out with the next version that's slightly better of that console, like for instance, the PS4 to the PS4 Pro. The people that didn't buy the PS4 definitely are not going to buy the PS4 Pro. They're just waiting to see what happens. So what do? You buy the first gen PS5, play it for 8 months or a year. And then when the PS5 Pro or whatever the hell they end up calling this thing comes out, you sell it to the guy for a little bit less. So you take a baby L, maybe lose 50 to 100 bucks, and then use that same money to get your PS5 Pro or whatever. That's how this works, man.
Yeah, I don't remember if I even got like the first gen PS4.
And don't go to GameStop. Don't sell them nothing. Don't fall for their trap.
We'll give you $20. It's like I'll take it. It's like, no, don't do that.
Right? They're like, if you do it this holiday, we'll give you an extra 80. No, I don't want it. I'm gonna sell this.
Extra 8 cents. Like that's like the best deal we have. Like
No, yeah, we're not doing that. They're too thirsty. I'm not giving it to GameStop. Let them fold. The only reason I don't want to see GameStop fail, like the only reason, is because there's so many young people and not so young people who have jobs there and they need to make their money, and like I totally get that. It's the only reason I don't want them to fail, because they're like outside of GameStop, there's not too many nerdy jobs that you can just get where you can kind of be in that culture.
Yeah, I like GameStop back when they were actually hosting tournaments and stuff and doing stuff for the community, not just you sure you don't want to get this warranty? Are you sure?
Well,
sure?
From a business perspective, like, they do have to make money. They've got to find a way to adapt. But in my personal opinion, when it comes to GameStop, like you just said, all of those things should have kind of been like the pinnacle, what makes them them. But where they really screwed up is they wanted to be a glorified pawn shop in a world of online sales. So the best thing that they could have done is really focus on their online store, not just had a store, but really focused on it, and then came up with a really good system for things that, as you purchase, maybe you get points that accumulate, similar to like an Amazon credit card or something like that, where it gives you there's incentives for continuing to buy.
Yeah, because I remember the GameStop.
What's up, SDI?
They didn't really have.
I said GameStop should build a partnership. I'm sorry, I was just reading the chat. Sam said, I said GameStop should build a partnership to become an official esports partner. Not a terrible idea. That's not a terrible idea.
They should, but they're so stupid. Like,
yeah,
that's all I would love to run the company. It's like, you guys totally, absolutely are not gamers whatsoever. Y'all just lost y'all ways.
Well,
back in the day.
Before, like I said, they're like a glorified pawn shop, and they spent a lot of time just kind of capitalizing on that and ripping people off. And it's like, okay, that got you to where you're at, but there's no way that sort of mentality is going to maintain the business in 2020 with the way that your competition is, because you really don't have what it takes to compete with a big box store like Best Buy or Walmart or an online big box like Amazon. You don't have that. But what you do have is loyalty for some reason. So, I mean, if you take what you know and you do it well and you offer incentives to where, like, you actually give amazing rewards for trade-ins and all sorts of things online, and those things can trickle down to the stores, and then you've got other things like competitions. Like, you're doing something that Amazon can't do. You're doing something that Walmart can't do. They're not going to have, your tabletop tournaments and all that kind of stuff in addition to the other stuff. They could stay relevant, but they don't. And that's why before COVID hit, they were in the midst of, I don't know if you guys know this, but they were putting stores, like a bunch of like beta stores basically, with just drastically different feels to them, where they focus on tabletop games only here, or in this store, they had like LAN setups and, like just whatever they can do to see what's going to work the best in the marketplace. And I don't know, man, not to turn this into a GameStop conversation, but
that's all they have to do is just make it to where it's community driven, not, oh, we're a business. All right, how many warranties did you sell today? Oh, you suck. Make sure you're out there on the floor and selling these warranties. Like,
get out of my store. You want to be a yes man? You apply at Taco Bell. This is GameStop.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, when a new game's coming out that's popular that you can run tournaments with, like Smash Bros, run a tournament. Give out some prizes, like posters or whatever, some collectibles. Do something like that to bring people back. Like, yo, I want to go to GameStop because it's about to have a tournament.
And what's wild is because it's GameStop, they would easily be able to do like a national tournament. You know how cool that would be? Like to have, your little local championships, and then they keep track of that stuff, and then boom, have pop-ups from industry vets at stores. That's another one. That's another great idea.
It's not hard for them to do, but they're just not thinking like that. They're just thinking money, 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 like Mr. Krabs.
Hey, you're right, but hey, you know what? They're not doing so hot, and we will see how the dust settles at the end of the day. We'll
just go bankrupt, I'll buy the company.
I rarely give them my business anymore, because every time I go into GameStop, like the people are almost always pretty cool, but like I'm just so disgusted with the atmosphere. Like I can't vibe with it no more. They're like, please buy our pop figures. I'm like, I've got enough. As you see, I've got enough. And I think maybe one of everything I own came from GameStop. I'm good. And that's because I was waiting for some lady trying to return something. I bought it out of boredom. Oh, I think we have a problem, Kellz. Now ask me how much those are worth, because most of those are like really limited editions.
Really? Some of them are signed by Overwatch voice actors too.
I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about good video games today.
I don't even know what to say. I was like,
I know I made somebody mad. It's just an opinion. It is what it is. I mean, there's some good stuff out there. So, okay, ray tracing. Like I said, I think that if ray tracing is something you don't know a lot about, look into it. I hope from what we said earlier in the the podcast, the episode today, that maybe you have a better understanding or at least sparked interest to want to look into it because it's a really neat thing. But I don't think it's going to be enough to carry these systems even from what you see. So it's like I'm not trying to be a pessimist about it. I'm just saying with what's on the market now and the best case for computers, high-end graphic cards that we're talking run like $700-800, we're looking at maybe a 30% gain in the third gen of these cards. So I don't know. It's like it might be good. It might not. We'll find out. Let's talk a little bit about the controller changes. How do you feel about those? I like the USB-C. I'm not surprised. Well, you know what? I'm a little surprised. Because PlayStation in the past would drag their feet with what's out. Like the USB Mini was relevant for like maybe a year on the PS3, and then they were like, we got the micro, and I was like, what is this? You couldn't get a mini cable anywhere. You had to go to GameStop. That was how they made all their money. That's how they survived for like 6 years.
well, me, I mean, when it comes to PlayStation controllers, they're already small for my hands anyway. But I'm glad they finally got with the times, and
That's not the only thing small for your hands.
Oh man,
that joke was worth it.
It's totally not true. But
oh god,
I mean, the controller looks dope as hell. Like having all that extra stuff, make it feel futuristic. It's like, yo, I'm in Star Citizen right now. Like, yo.
Well, like, okay, so like when you're looking at your normal PS4 controller or whatever, I mean, it looks like the sides of it, they opened up like just a little bit. Sorry, my hands are all cut up from I was building a fence, so everything's bleeding. They don't normally look like this. Usually they're so soft. But anyways, the whole system looks dope. All right, no, we're gonna get to that because I actually do like the design, but that's not, from what I've seen so far, it's not for everybody. Dude, get your Fisher Price Xbox controller off of the screen. What's wrong with you? I'm trying to tell people about PlayStation.
Still small for my hand.
What is wrong with your hands? Did you, when your mom was pregnant with you, was she next to like a radioactive power plant?
Great question, Bill.
Right? You have no superpowers, just awkwardly large hands. All right, so I'm gonna read what he said in just a sec. So anyways, so PlayStation controller, and I'm showing it on screen on the stream for the audio listeners. So if you're wondering why I'm talking awkwardly, it's because I'm actually looking at something. So yeah, like opened it up a little bit where it's wider, and then like some of the grooves and stuff on here, if you guys can tell, they like kind of took them away where it just feels, it looks like it will feel a little bit more natural, I guess. Like even here, like when you're looking at this, like the little grooves that are like in between here, it's all just one piece now on the new controller, if you notice that. So I think it's going to end up being a little bit more comfortable, and I also like that they didn't stray too far from what they know, because the PlayStation controller, as simple as it is like an iconic thing. I really like the way that it is. It's always just, don't change too much. Like think about it, before PlayStation, remember the Nintendo controllers, as cool as they look, like the square ones?
Oh my god. Don't remind me of the
Nintendo 60. Yeah, if you ever, like they make like retro versions for like, the Switch and stuff like that. Those things feel terrible. They're cool to have, but let's be honest here. Like it's just, I'm like, dude, this was the main thing. Or Atari, for those of us who are, I guess, old now, because it used to be just retro, now we're old. But yeah, like the Atari, like they were like, here's a button and a giant joystick. All right. Can you button mash? Nope. And even Sega was really uncomfortable. Like I liked the Sega controller better than the Nintendo controller. Like it had a better feel, like when you held them side by side. But like Nintendo had to come out with the Super Nintendo before I like actually enjoyed the controller.
Yeah.
And then don't even get me started on whatever the hell N64 was.
It's like here's the middle side. It's like I don't have three hands, so it's like.
Dude, I don't know. It was like they threw a Rubik's Cube in a microwave, and they were just like, look, man, however this falls together is what we're going to roll with.
And you try to like aim with like perfect dark and everything.
Man.
You got to try to hold the stick. It was so weird when you got so accustomed to it.
And you know what was weird about it is everybody, I don't care who you are, if you say that you liked it, you're lying. But back then, like, you would want to complain about it, and somebody would just give you shit. Like, they'd be like, dude, oh, okay, here goes the PlayStation guy. Or, whatever. Like, yeah, it's just because you're whack. You suck, bro. And it's like, Surely you're not looking at this and thinking that like this is the. I wish I have it in my closet somewhere. I should have busted it out for the camera for the conversation. Let me read Sam real quick. He said it really makes you realize MS didn't put any thought into the Xbox Series X design.
Yeah, there was like, here's a box.
Well,
a box like Xbox Series X.
Yeah, so the design is not very exciting, but they took the minimalist approach. And I would be a liar if I told you that I didn't occasionally enjoy like the minimalist design. Like it's not always going to be a win. But in this case, like even I have to admit, like it doesn't look too bad. And after seeing like people coming up with special prototype designs and stuff with the new Xbox, those are not real, but I can certainly see the potential. Like it's gonna be so easy to make skins for that thing. Like they're gonna make a killing on skins because it's a big stupid box. You can wrap it in whatever you want. You can put wrapping paper on it.
Perfection.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's pretty cool. But just to play devil's advocate, when it comes to this new PlayStation design, I had a couple people message me like immediately. Like it was so weird. They were just like, "Bro, what do you think?" As if my opinion matters. It doesn't. But here it is anyways.
It looks like a modem.
So I like it. I like that PlayStation, Sony decided to take a chance. I don't think it's any better or worse than what Xbox came out with. It's just an option. But I like it overall. Like it doesn't bug me. Like I feel like they're being bold and daring to like make a new change, and that's something that we see a lot from Nintendo, and they don't get criticized for it that much. But that's because it's Nintendo. You just can't. Like they got Zelda. Kellz never beat a Zelda game. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I never did.
They got Smash Bros.
I beat that many times.
Yeah, I mean I'm not a great Smash Bros. Player, but I enjoy it. But yeah, I mean it's just they're giving it a chance, and I look at it like. If they kept doing the exact same thing, then we're never going to have change. You're never going to be able to move forward. I mean, even for Christ's sake, like look at cars like every decade. It's hard to notice because like you're living in it and you're in the middle of it and cars are different. But like you can spot a car that, from like 94 and 2020 that hasn't had anything like easily. Like if it's in perfect
boxing and everything.
Yeah, perfect condition. Even cars that were meant to look futuristic, from like 92, you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that's the direction that we decided to go.
Where's the aerodynamics? What aerodynamics?
Right?
We don't need that back in the 90s.
All cars are, plastic bubble death traps in the future with like unibody frames that we can just pull it back after you die in it. If you don't know,
how much can we sell this for? All right, bet, cool. All right, just going back on the lot.
He died a hero.
He was our test dummy.
Oh yeah. Let me see how we're looking on time real quick, just so we can make sure we hit the things we wanted to mention tonight.
But I do like the design for the PS5. The first thing I thought of, it looks like a modem, but I like the blue lights that come out of it too on the top of it. I guess it might be the top and the front, but it looks pretty dope, and it's just mixing together. Hopefully they have variants of.
They call that the labia.
Oh.
Did you get that joke?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right. Moving on. You could have chuckled. Now it's just awkward. I hate you.
What's up?
So Mark Cerny is the lead architect of the PlayStation 5, and he seems like an all right dude who's been going in and talking about it. If you've seen any videos, if you've been looking up information on it, Mark Cerny seems pretty cool, and he thinks he knows what he's talking about. Ethan was just lost in space, according to Sam. Yeah, Ethan is not all there. Like I said, his mother was the radioactive spider. No, I can't say that.
That's my brother.
I don't know. I can make jokes about you, but I can't even make jokes about your mom. I don't know her. She's probably a sweet lady.
Definitely is.
But she definitely
now
is.
she is. Back when she was a corrections officer, she was beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop. Yeah, it was crazy.
All right, we're talking about the future, man. We can't be in the past talking about your mom.
Yes, futuristic modems and starships is what the PS4 is. 5. Wow.
Unless you have pictures.
I'm not ready for this next generation of consoles.
He said she was the Terminator back in the day. So, All right, so let's get on to some of what Mark Cerny had to say. So some of the highlights that he discussed in comparing the PS4 and the PS5 is this new SSD that it's going to have, and this is a big deal. For those of you who aren't too familiar with like tech, the type of SSD that it's going to be using is not going to be just any SSD. It's going to be something that PCs moving forward in the future will probably end up using, like, you know, the new future tech, but it's not common right now. So what that tells me is that if you want to get this additional SSD, because you can, because I think out of the box, what is it, like 875 or 65 gigs is what this this SSD has. It's kind of a weird number, so I don't know why they went that way, but it is fast as hell. Like, I've looked up the specs on it. It's pretty impressive. And they did.
I hope that's after the operating system. I hope.
Well, I don't think it is.
Damn it.
But the thought process behind it is like, okay, so think for a second. Like with the PS4 Pro, you got a 1 terabyte, 720 RPM drive or 7200 RPM drive, and it just wasn't very fast and responsive when it comes to, you know, deleting content and downloading content, whatever. It wasn't too bad, but the SSD is literally, like, this SSD in comparison to what you got out of the Pro is 100 times faster at doing that.
Nice.
Like, that's like hard speed clocked. So if it's 100 times faster, and it's also designed to where, like, the power is always going to be the same on this thing, so it's never going to, like, you're basically, because of the way the power is set up, you're never going to get like a fan increase, because that's a nightmare on the PlayStation. I'll admit that. It's going to be a lot quieter and 100 times faster. That's kind of all I need. But you are probably going to have to break the bank in order to have your expanded SSD if that's what you want to do. That's what I want to do. But I mean, and I'm just speculating, you know, because you can get a 500 gig solid state, a normal solid state, for probably right around, on the low end, $55, $65, which is not bad at all. But I'm thinking this is probably going to be double the price, if not more, because there's not really a market for it yet. Like, PlayStation's going to be the first market.
They should, well, they'll probably add it for the second gen. Maybe the second gen you'll be able to add memory and stuff to it, possibly.
Well, no, you can add it. I'm just saying, like, when you go to buy it, it's going to be expensive as hell. They made it to where you could add more, but I just don't think it's going to be that cheap. I'd be very surprised if it's cheap.
Yeah, it's going to be like, yeah, give me that warranty. No warranty, no more. Yeah, you want to mod it? Mm-hmm. Give me that money.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to end up tossing the insides in one of these computer towers and do what I want to do with it. Have my way until the firmware update destroys my system. Sad face. And then they're also adding the ability to, which this is kind of a giveaway, where it's going to have like USB support, so you can plug in like an older style hard drive for your PS4 games and that sort of thing. They did go on to say that I think there's only that's comparable to PCIe 4.0 drives. Ooh, play Ultra Ride. What's up, Ultra? What makes it special is that games are designed to utilize the SSD. Let's say like assets and maps. Well, if you keep typing, I can't read it. Are unpacked, ready to go GPU to load instead of what's typical game assets and uncompromised. The save. Sorry, I'm kind of blind when I read what you say. Save to RAM, then GPU to load. Thank you, Ultra, for chiming in. Ultra's a good dude. He knows his computers, so I don't feel like the only loser nerd up here trying to talk.
I'm glad that they're actually moving to SSDs, because HDDs are just slow as shit. Like, why do people still use that? Besides, but you putting videos and stuff inside.
Well,
computer. But
I mean, I agree. They could have gotten away with putting it in the PS4, but when that came out, they weren't priced that low. You know what I mean? Like, it took a minute for the price to come down. If you remember, I mean, I know that was like many moons ago. It was almost 10 years ago now, but yeah, they were not as bad as people make them seem, but they weren't that cheap. And PlayStation was trying to keep the price down as low as they possibly could. I mean, the mistakes that they had with the PS3 at launch, remember? That was like $699 for the bare bones system. And I bought it. I killed myself to buy it. Yeah, I turned 18, used my credit card to get it, and I was struggling.
It's like, sire, no more.
Yeah, that was real life, man, and it just kind of is what it is. But yeah, so I mean, it's going to be way faster. That part excites me. We've kind of talked about the aesthetics. We talked a little bit about the controller being more modernized, and that makes a lot of sense because even Apple is starting to utilize USB-C. All their new computers have USB-C ports on there. The new iPhones kind of shitty because they're still kind of using the lightning cable or whatever. But on the other end that goes into the wall, it's got a USB-C, so you can use that for, you know, whatever, your new PCs and stuff like that, and now apparently your PlayStation.
I'm just curious to see when it comes to which games are going to be 60 frames per second, which ones aren't. Is it going to be lower? Because I know PS4...
You're probably going to have, not to interrupt you, but just before you get too far in that, they're probably going to have the flexibility of being able to, depending on the game, to change your video settings.
I hope so.
You know, I mean, that's kind of the future of where things are going. You're going to be able to do kind of like your play style, so you can... They're going to have to because of ray tracing. You know, so they're going to be like, do you want to turn off ray tracing and have a higher, you know, FPS rate, or do you want to see all these beautiful things you couldn't normally and have to bring it down and be confined to probably, I would guess... for most games, like 30.
Now, would it have HDR and ray tracing, or would it be you can only do that when you have it off?
I mean, I guess we're gonna see what they have out of the box because I'm gonna send you some face wash.
I know, next week's episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh my god. So yeah, I mean, but all those things aside, I mean, we're talking tech, we're talking this and that. A lot of people have opinions, speculations, whatever. Again, like I said, I just was kind of dropping some knowledge on here. I'm glad Ultra jumped in with some additional facts, probably maybe better explaining it to an extent than I could. But what do you say? You don't need HDR with ray tracing, dweeb. Killed you.
I mean,
killed you. Oh my god, he killed you.
It wouldn't be a bad thing.
Oh my god, you need some Neosporin?
Testing tech, what? Neosporin? Why?
Because he just burned your ass.
Call me a dweeb. Who the hell says that? Old people?
It's way funnier that he did say it. Oh my god. That's now permanently going to be embedded in the audio podcast. Somebody's going to be driving like, did he say
back
dweeb?
in the 70s.
This guy Kellz. You know what though? I can't be mad at you because I know that kind of stuff, but like, you know more than Steven, which isn't saying a lot, but remember, like, as far as tech and, you know, intelligent goes, you're like a couple notches ahead of him, bro. Did that not make you feel better?
I'm gonna head out.
I'm gonna head out. So, the most important thing, though, at the end of the day, and it's been proven time and time again, because Xbox has made better hardware for a while than PlayStation. In fact, when these come out the gate, technically speaking, like, the Xbox is going to have a little bit more potential, at least on paper. But like I was saying, none of that has mattered because Sony has these exclusives because they just, you know, that's what they do. So a couple of games I wanted to mention that aren't necessarily all exclusives, but things we need to look forward to. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about for a few minutes here before we exit out for the evening. So let me pull up. I had to like pull them all up in a bunch of windows because I couldn't remember all of them off the top of my head. Unless there's one that you want to mention, Kellz.
Godfall.
Godfall looks really good. It looks
yes, it does.
Like it's one of those games where like aesthetically, like I'm like, you have my attention. I just hope it. I hope it doesn't let me down, you know, because there's a lot of games that I've played that like aesthetically looked really, really cool. I didn't know much about it. I took a chance and I hated it.
I just hope that it's not 3-player co-op and it's 4, and it doesn't let me down like T Human did back in the day.
Oh god,
you had all this stuff going on, and then it was just one player. It's like,
oh yeah,
you could do online multiplayer, but not split screen or whatever. I was like, what?
Sam said it's confirmed. 60 frames per second, 4-player co-op.
Nice.
Yeah, you're good.
60 frames per second. Bet.
You're good. Yeah, we're turning that down to 1440 or lower, but yeah, we're good. So I mean, that's something to be excited about. But I hope that it fills the hole in my heart that where Dynasty Warriors used to be.
Dynasty Warriors, man, that was like the signature game back on the PS2.
It was just groundbreaking. Like it was hack and slash. You got a little bit of actual history out of it, but they took history and twisted it and made it really fun. And you know, you just go around, you beat the shit out of whoever until Lubu comes along, and it's just like, let me tell you about yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say something about him. Don't pursue.
Here he comes on his horse, ready to just break you off every time. And then as soon as
so strong,
bro, I don't know. I remember one time I was so mad. Like me and my buddies, like we're just like, dude, I got Game Shark. Let's just like we put on a code that made us like almost invincible, and he still pieced us up. Like we ended up beating him, but like it was like everybody was like basically one hit kill, and then we fought him, and the game's mechanics were like, nah, I think you should struggle a little bit. Couldn't believe it. And then what was even more impressive is once we killed him, he respawns. Like we're like, what the hell? I think it was Dynasty Warriors 4, but basically you weren't supposed to be able to kill him, and like you did, and the game was just like, nah, I don't know that one, guys.
What is this blasphemy?
I think early life of PS4 and Xbox One, PS4 was easier to code for. My programmer friend EA Dice swears by it. Maybe that factored into their exclusives too. That's definitely a possibility because that's actually what happened, among other things, with the PS3 and the 360. The 360 was just bananas easier to code for. The PS3 was overly complicated and it turned off a lot of people, so a lot of things that once were exclusives kind of opened up to everybody. A lot of companies ended up doing that. But there's a bunch of other factors, in play with that. But just interesting how that works. I'd like to think that both Sony and Microsoft has kind of learned their lesson, and they're not going to take that kind of a risk anymore. So whatever the popular coding method is at the time, they're going to try to stick with that and not be too off the walls. But we'll see. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Only time will tell.
Shut up. All right, so we've got that game out there. Let's see, what else do we got? The Kenna game. What was it? Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Did you not see that one?
I probably did, but
Dude, that one looks like if you just like added controls to a really good dark Pixar game.
Why isn't that ringing a bell right
now? Like movie, I should say. Like it looks really good. Like I'm looking through the pictures right now, and it's like looking at How to Train a Dragon in 4K meets like, Enchanted or whatever the hell that movie was that came out on Netflix. You know what I'm talking about? With like the trolls or whatever. You never saw it?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was actually pretty good. We were gonna do a show on it, but then we didn't want to get COVID or something. I don't remember why we didn't do it, but but yeah, it just looks really pretty. And it looks like they're in a forest in a couple of scenes. There's a scene with a girl who's got like some sort of a scepter and a crystal, and she's fighting like this giant tree monster that like he fits with the scenery, but he also looks like he will brutally slaughter this girl on camera. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. It caught my attention right away. And just like all the colors, man, like they've got, scenes that are, just a bunch of greens and stuff. And then when things get serious, there's like these crazy red lights popping all over the place, maybe enhanced by ray tracing, maybe not. I don't know, but I want it. It's going to get all $60 for me.
Not me, because I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
I told you. Why didn't you just look it up? Kena, Bridge of Spirits. See, this is why people like me more than you on the podcast, because you won't Google things. Second thing. Google? Sackboy. Sackboy looks pretty good.
Horizon Zero Dawn looks pretty good. What are you talking about? What?
Look, Play Ultra Ride is putting you on now. I don't have to click the link to know that he's about to school your life. He wants you to take a peek so that people can have you make sense of this.
I still never beat the first Horizon Zero Dawn, and I see now, and I was like,
he's not talking about that. I'm gonna click on the link and see what he gave you.
Brother.
Yeah, he literally gave you the Bridge of Spirits trailer.
I sees it.
All right, I'm gonna kind of skim over Sackboy for those of you who want to know audio podcast wise. Sackboy is.
And I remember. Okay, I remember now.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It reminds me of Pikmin. With the little things chasing you and following you, and you just throw them at people, but more mature and, like you said, Pixar. I was like, wait a minute. Little stuffed animal things, that can definitely be a nice pop too.
Okay, so Sackboy is like one of the main characters from Little Big Planet. So check that out. I don't think there's really much to say. It's exactly what you would expect in a trailer, but enhanced graphics, and I'm sure they're going to be changing some storyline stuff. We may in the future do an episode on it. If you're a fan of it, the trailer looked really exciting, so check it out. I'm not going to sit on that one for too long, though, because there's just not too much to say. It's not really like a new concept, just worth mentioning. And then, what was that one shooter game that came out? It doesn't matter.
I mean, Gran Turismo 7, that looked like, wow.
It looked like a car. It looked like a car.
It looks so real, though.
With a fresh coat of wax.
It looks so real.
I mean, it looked more entertaining than NASCAR, but it's still not that great.
Bro, I remember doing endurance races in Forza Motorsports, and that took 3 hours of my life. I'm never doing that again.
If I don't get a new Need for Speed Underground with a new track from 2021 with Lil Jon and the Eastside Boys, I don't want it.
I mean, Ghostwire Tokyo looked excellent as well too.
Oh my god, it looks so good. And they showed us that at E3 last year, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of forgot about it. People were asking if it was going to get canceled. Thank God it's not getting canceled. That game looks so good.
Yeah, it was like, I don't care what environment, kind of weird stuff too, but it just has a lot of imagination to it. You can tell.
Oh my god. And then, yeah, Sam said the new PSVR. I hope they don't, because, like, I still wouldn't waste my money in the first one. Unless the price, for what you get out of it, if the price doesn't come down considerably, I can't justify spending that much money on it or a used one. And it seems like nobody's really pushing to get anything awesome to make anything awesome for it right now. So, like I said years ago on the podcast, I think way down the line, it has a lot of potential, but this just ain't it. Like, the average family is not going to be able to get your system and then drop another $500 on something that, like, there's hardly any games for.
Beat Sabers.
It's only $200 right now, which I agree is not a ton of money, but that's way more than what I don't want to spend $200 for. Like, I can't name 3 games off the top of my head that are talked about so widely that I'm like, bro, that's the move. Like, VR will be cool to me when you can put it on and, like, get a Final Fantasy 14 experience on your couch that you never could have before. Like, I'm waiting for that kind of stuff to come out, if it ever comes out. So that's just where I'm at on it.
Don't forget, there is another one, that Pragmata. Like, the dude in the astronaut suit is in Manhattan, I guess. And that weird stuff starts happening and trying to save the little girl, and then it's like, whoa, what trippy what's the name of that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio?
If they enable VR for Star Wars Squadron, then I might just get it. Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. And hey, look, man, 5 million units sold. It's not doing it for me. It's not doing it for me. I'm sorry. Like, it's just, you sell what you want, but I mean, I honestly can't think of, I mean, I have so many huge gamer friends, and I can't think of anybody who's ever like, bro, like Kellz, can you? Like, not to, like, debunk what he's saying or anything, but just, like, honestly, like, can you think of anybody that's like, oh, man, can't wait to go home and fire up insert VR game? Because I got a couple people who have it, and, like, I've checked it out, I've played it, and I was like, this is pretty cool, but, like, I've never played one. I was like, bro, this is it. Like, I'm going out. Where'd you get this? Like, that's just not a thing that happens.
I can't think of anyone. I still got my VR, and I don't even play it.
And
I might play it, but that's about it.
I came so close a couple times to just doing it, but they have one at my job that you can play on lunch break for free, and they get all the newest games, and I always play it for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, my head hurts. I don't know. I'm sorry, man. I hope you don't take offense. That's just how I'm feeling with it, and apparently the industry is too, because we didn't hear anything. Kellz, which game were you saying? Because I spell it out. Let me look it up real quick.
Pragmata. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Pragmata.
I found it because I know how to spell good.
I
don't think I wrote this one down because I wasn't that interested in it. But tell us what excited you, man.
About it?
Yeah, are you just naming off things that you saw?
No, it actually looked interesting. It's just, I don't know what the dude has to do from space and why he's trying to save the little girl, but what the hell is going on on Earth right now is what made it a mystery to me. It just seemed like it was some real deep, crazy Inception stuff that's going on.
Yeah, I'm on Polygon's website, and we're looking at Pragmata. A mysterious new game from Capcom was announced today during the Sony PlayStation live streaming event. Little is known about the game, but a trailer shows a man in the spacesuit grappling with unknown powers that have corrupted the planet Earth. The release window is set for 2022. So, we got a year before we see a decent trailer if it doesn't get canceled. Like, what was that Xbox game? Spellbound? Or something like that?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I forgot the name of it, but it was with the dragons.
It looked like it was going to be amazing, and then
Yeah.
I canceled my Xbox pre-order once I found out it wasn't coming out.
That made me so mad. It looked so good.
I was like, I think you owe me some money, Microsoft. Like, that was it. Like, I was in. I was going to be part of Team Microsoft. Like, it was going to be my dark little secret. And then they canceled it, and I just was like, get this shit out of here.
I can't tell anyone about this.
Right? Never. You know what I wanted to bring up is the Solar Ash game. Did you write that one down? Here, I'll you know what? I got a link. I got a link. Before before Play Ultralight jumps in the chat and hurts your life. Developing for VR kind of sucks. Fun at first, but sucks towards the end. Yeah, that's one thing I've never done. I've dabbled with a lot of coding for games and had some fun. I've completed some smaller games, but that was beyond me, man. I was just like, nah. I'll leave that to the professionals.
Isn't this from the creators of
I'll stick to building apps.
Never mind. I was thinking this is like the No Man's Sky people.
Yeah, did they have like a good description for this game? I think they had something about it. Let's see. The Void Beckons. Solar Ash Kingdom is the second game from Heart Machine, the creators of the award-winning 2016 game Hyper Light Drifter. Journey through a surreal, vivid, and highly stylized world filled with mystery, wild high speed, traversal, endearing characters, and massive enemy encounters. So they're not really saying too much, and it's kind of hard to describe this game. I'll say that the art seems at times almost kind of abstract, like almost like pastel colors bleeding. It's a really pretty game in that sense. It reminds me kind of what's that game? Do you remember Guardian for PS4? Might have been on more systems than that.
Nope, I don't remember.
I'm gonna pull up like an image clip just so you can kind of see it. It's not the same.
It reminded me of No Man's Sky's artwork.
So here, I'm pulling up Guardian so you can kind of see. It had like, it's not the same art style, but it just was like really different. They were just doing something else. Last Guardian. I'm sorry. Yes, thank you, Ultra, for correcting me.
Damn, Ultrawise on the street.
No, dude, I love having Ultra in here. It's awesome to have people who are like. Let me pause for a second. The podcast that we're able to do now on live streams is so much fun to be able to have you guys participate, because a lot of times we would talk and speculate based on people who popped into the comments here and there, and this is way cooler because we can address questions or banter a little bit on here, so it's not just me and another host. Like, I mean, I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are.
Roast us and yeah,
roast us. They roasted you.
Fucking dweeb, apparently.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to get like some note cards or something next time.
It's like, yeah, cock boy. It's like, that was a comeback. That's all you can get. Like, yeah, man.
I mean, I laughed, so there's that. Okay, so moving on though. So we've got links in there. I'm just wanted to bring that one because it looked worth mentioning. The art looks really cool.
Returnal.
Really? You like that?
They look like some weird. I don't even know what to even call that game. It's like, is it a horror game or is it just some trippy or is it a bit of both? Like, don't be high and on streams trying to play that game. Like,
it didn't have enough to capture my interest personally, but I can see where somebody would be into it. Like Kellz.
Yeah, this is trippy. I like weird games.
Well, break it down, bro. Give me a description or something. Like, what are we doing here?
I don't know. Oh, Demon Souls remake. I never even played Demon Souls.
Okay, we're on to a different game. All right. That's what we're doing.
Oh, but yeah, I found it because it's just weird. Like the story, like the lady, she keeps dying, but she's trying to get out and trying to find ways to get out of whatever the hell she's in. Like,
is Bill Murray in it? Because if he's not, then I don't want to play it.
I don't know, but she's just trying to escape and not die. And it's like she just keeps on being put on repeat. And
that's
everything. It's like
Groundhog Day. They took the concept from the movie Groundhog Day and made a video game.
Yeah, basically, and it's tricky in space.
Let me not be petty. Okay. How did you feel about the Stray video game? Because that looks fun as hell. I bet you Stray is going to have phenomenal sales. It's going to be big with streamers. It's going to be big with girls. It's going to be big with people who love like Japanese, city art where you can just like go through it and explore it from like a perspective that isn't a person, an animal being able to hop along fences and stuff. Dude, it looks really good. And like, because everything is like, how to describe it? Like it's like everything's like wet. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's way more wet than it should be. It's moist. But, like, they did that.
It's moist. You play a cat in the stray alley of cyberpunk world.
Well, it's like nighttime, and they have all these neon lights, like, through the city, and it kind of looks like a rainstorm just happened in everything that I'm looking at. And I'm pretty sure that like your ray tracing setup is gonna freaking explode when it tries to send all the algorithms that it needs to. But before it explodes, it's gonna look pretty good, and it's probably adorable.
It's just gonna be super hot. Like, you gotta get a fan for it.
Finally, I get to play a cat. 10-10 will get again.
It's better than a goat or goose.
Read Sam's comments because I know you see these comments too. Like Sam is talking to you too, man.
Yeah, I know. It's like
he spoke up for you, and
the planet changes every time. I completely forgot about that. It was not the same planet.
So I'm skeptical about that though, because remember when they did God damn it, what was that FPS game that was total trash? Oh my god, think last year, not like last February. Anthem.
Oh yeah, the one that I fell asleep on many times.
Dude, I gave it a college try. I wanted Anthem to work. And Anthem was supposed to have levels that were never quite the same. The world is always shifting. Yeah, that didn't work out.
The one that Gia was trying to defend and everything, I'm like, I've never fell asleep on a damn game like that before.
She should have admitted that like it wasn't good. Like it had a lot of potential, but that's not what we got.
Game of the year, Anthem? Hell no. That shit was fucking sleep of the year. Sleep apnea fucking session. Just go play that game for about 3 hours, see if you can make it. All right.
It was just so hollow and incomplete. And it's like, I hated that because I remember out the gate, like I was so excited. There were so many little things that I really, really enjoyed. But like once I got to like day 3 or 4, like the things that were bugging me more and more. And like, you start looking around for updates, it wasn't happening. After a month, I tried to sell the game back, and GameStop told me they wouldn't even take it.
I'm glad I got the EA access, and I didn't have to pay $60.
Yeah, I was like, so like $20, bro? They were like, nah. I think I still have it. Like, it's like somewhere, like as a coaster. Like I was just like, okay.
They were like, all right, yo, hey Tino, I know like you want to trade in this game, but we got 25 cents.
He was like, bro, do you have anything from like PS1? We can give you something for that if you want a buck or two. But Anthem, I mean, it's been out for 30 days. All right.
It's going to go down to 20 cents in about a few seconds, man.
I have never been so embarrassed about a purchase afterwards. Like it like Jump Force was a game that I just knew it was going to be like a shitstorm a mile away. Like I just knew it was going to be trash. You know,
I thought it was gonna be good. Good thing I didn't buy it.
Well, like the concept seemed cool, but they were like, just kidding. We put like 30 cents into the development of this game, but it's got Luffy versus Goku. Who wouldn't want that? Yeah, all right. That game was just trash. But Anthem, I think, may have been worse.
That was like the worst game I played. That was it. Yeah, last year. Yeah, that was the worst I've ever played. I was like, what? I feel bad for the people that spent $60 and so much trying to defend the game. Like it's gonna be better than this.
Oh,
I gotta admit, when the game first started, it was dope, but nah.
And Ultrawide chiming in, he said, mine came with GFX card. With my GFX card. I gave 2 copies to other friends. They never played it. Anthem was too human. Plus Perfect Dark Zero.
Man, Perfect Dark Zero, such a disappointment.
Look,
we're making it like a cartoon.
Let's switch games because I feel like I'm like raining on somebody's parade right now, and I don't want to do that.
Because you don't play shooting games. You ain't about that life, PlayStation boy.
You want me to punch you in the throat?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's a weird thing.
Do it.
Cacao, that's my safe word. No, cacao. You ever saw it's like Portlandia?
Nope.
You uncultured swine. You disgust me. Okay. The last game that I wanted to mention, since this podcast has went off the rails with conversation, but I'm not mad about it, is I'm not sure of the correct way to pronounce this yet, so I'll say both ways in case I'm wrong, because I probably am. But Project Athia, or Athia, I think it's Athia though.
Yeah, that looks pretty dope.
From Square Enix. I don't know squat about it. I know that it looks like one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. I know that the last game with a female protagonist that I was this excited about and delivered was all the way back in like 2005 for Heavenly Sword. That's one of the best games I've ever played. It was short as hell, but it was fantastic. It was better than Assassin's Creed. I don't care what anybody says. Like I wish it would have took off. But the way the story is and the way the developers did it, like it was kind of like a one and done. And I just remember watching like hours of material for what went into the game and making it. And they were in London and all these other fantastic places. And it was fantastic. It was like the best experience on PS3. And this game gives me that kind of vibe. Like, I can't explain it. Like, it's just, you see something where you're just like, what is that? And I couldn't believe that they actually opened up with this game and didn't save it for later. Maybe they just wanted to grab attention at the PS5 like little expo that they did. But dude, I cannot wait. I've watched the trailer for it. This trailer that's like a minute long, like 1,000 times.
I want to see gameplay of it.
Well, who can say, man? I mean, like, I'm sure there'll be more stuff later. It sucks because now I'm excited about this, and Avengers Alliance is going to come out and probably let me down.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be sad.
And for the people in the stream, I'm gonna go ahead and share this.
As sad as Gia defending Anthem when it was trash.
She said she loves being forgotten. Well, let you take that one, Kellz.
I just roasted her, kind of, for. You still love how you love that game.
Oh my god.
I love incomplete games too. When they false promises and everything.
Oh my god. It's like
she was supposed to be the show? Wait a minute. Time out. No.
Was she? Oh my god, she is a savage right now.
I fell asleep on Anthem, so I can't finish the game I'm falling asleep on.
Yeah, and it felt weird too because I had to switch sides on Gia because like I felt like I was the only one defending the game initially because I was like, guys, just give it a chance. Like, and I really meant it. Like, it had nothing to do with Gia. But after a while, like I was like, all right, I'm out.
I'm gonna head out early.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm throwing in the towel. I'm done here. You just beat the new Pokemon games.
I know. I can't. Yeah.
That's embarrassing because you have all these Pokemon hats.
Grind.
You have all the Pokemon hats, and you just beat it. And your team is just a bunch of Mews. You spent a bunch of money for a whack team.
Hey, I was defeating everyone. I only died. Well, lost to Leon once. Everyone else is getting destroyed. I only had Gia. I battled her, and she had 2 Pokemon left. So, hey, she cheated though. She changed the Pokemon to the fucking electric dog.
But you know what, Gia? As much as I don't really care for Destiny personally, they do have a pretty hardcore fan base, and it has gotten a lot better. So as much crap as I give you and anybody else who plays it, like at this point, I'm just being petty. Like it's a decent franchise now.
Yes, I fell for the trap for Destiny, the first one. I still got my ghost.
Look, Sam said you're supposed to change Pokemon.
I wanted all Mews, damn it.
Look, if you can watch Ash fail for 20 years, you guys can watch Kellz slowly beat... Did you have Sword or Shield? I forget.
I have Sword.
So you have like 2 days left to beat the tower missions.
Yep.
You're not going to beat them. I don't think you have the skill set to beat them.
I have all the Mews. That's all I need.
So the towers, you can't use like all the Pokemon you want. You're limited to using like 3 Pokemon at a time. And it's all strategic. Like, you can't go in there with, like, a heavy hitter and just, like, blow out with, like, a big blast or something. It's all strategic. Like, they're going to put you in a bubble and touch you in ways you didn't want to be touched. And your power hitter's like, please stop. And you'll be like, this is all I got. I didn't develop a strategy because I don't know Pokemon. I kind of want you to stream that. $5 says you can't beat the first 2 challenges without losing.
Say no more.
And I'll pay you.
Bet.
Dude, the chat is coming for you right now. Ethan, do you even Pokemon? To be fair, he's been getting waxed in the game since we were kids.
No, that's not true at all. I still remember when you took my Charizard, my holographic Charizard, for a Nidoking and a Pidgey.
You let him do that to you?
He was a salesman. He got me.
You had
yeah, you can combine the attacks. I'm like, yeah, Charizard is weaker than this.
But you've got big hands. You should have gave him the hands.
Get my holographic Charizard. I know for a fact it was a Charizard. It wasn't Ninetales.
Oh boy, this is weird. This is strange. I feel uncomfortable. Well, you know what? I think it's adorable, like the way that you have your Pokemon plushies and your hats. Like, I think it's real cute.
Lies. See, you don't even remember. But I was not the trash one playing Pokemon back in the day. maybe I would get my ass whooped by you, but at least with Ryan, I was definitely yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, so Kellz has a lot of work to do in Pokemon. Clearly, I feel like we've pretty much touched base on everything that we wanted to for the PS5. Gia's going to be getting back on the show soon, so relax. We kind of had to throw the show together last minute because the original plan failed due to people not responding in the chat. You didn't get forgotten. You weren't there when we needed you.
T-Mobile, I guess.
Well, that's because Steven was actually initially supposed to put this together, but then he was like, I've got a fence. I forgot about the show. I was like, thanks. I'll find a way.
He was really getting happy about a fence. I'm like, this is what happens when you get older? You just get happy about things like that? Wow.
Yeah, well, this is the second show. So we did the patron winner tonight, Gia. We got this out of the way. We've got some plans, some things in the works for doing some more shows coming out for the next weekend. And for everybody who took the time to pop out today, definitely appreciate it. Even if Gia is continuously, she's hitting me with a barrage of attacks, and with every attack, it's getting a little bit stronger. It's kind of like rollout right now in Pokemon. Like, she hit me with a wave, and each wave is progressively hurting a little more than last. And it makes sense because she looks like Miltank to me. It's Whitney, bitch. I love you, Gia. Moo moo milk for days. Is she typing that or is that her son? I can't deal with these right now. I'm done. So, all right, Kellz, why don't you say goodbye so we can end like the audio portion and then we can just talk for like a second before we get off. Okay, so yeah, that's just weird air that I have to cut out now. So head over to bodysnatchersmedia.com. Check out the Patreon account if you want a chance to win. Like we said, congratulations to Wesley. He won that $25 gift card tonight. Also, once this goes live or whatever, like definitely give us your thoughts. Like not necessarily what we think. I mean, we're just people. But what do you think? Start a conversation. What are things you're excited about for the PS5? What are you not excited about? Are there questions that you felt weren't answered? For the PS5 premiere, like what's up in the air? Let's talk about
like
this.
the price.
They're all best estimates are looking like it's going to be $499, unless you go to that sketch ass website that had it for $700. I was like, I'm not paying that. Your eyes are not sticking together anymore. Did you know that?
No, I can control it.
Like the size of your hands. All right, guys. So this is for the audio portion. Good night.